made offers on land that is to be affected by those pipelines. Lebanon County owns the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail, which both of these lines potentially would cross. So we have received proposals from both Sunoco for the Mariner East line and from Williams. Very similar crossings. The Sunoco would be in the vicinity of Culvert Street in Cornwall, where the other line already exists. This would be a parallel line. Williams, of course, would be a new line, and that is down in the lawn area. Both, again, both crossing the Lebanon Valley Rail Trail. Remain to be seen what the what impact it would have on the rail trail, but we've obviously asked for it to have as little impact as possible if it's installed. Maybe at during an off-season time, ideally. Actually, totally ideally would be if they could drill underneath. We've requested that. I don't know whether or not that'll be granted. If so, that's, I know, a more expensive way of doing it. You know, it's both cases. I think it's only a 50-foot stretch that they have to cross, so it wouldn't take very long. But that'll be up to the companies on whether or not they would be willing to drill. They have to create a pit on both sides to be able to situate the equipment to drill underneath versus just trenching. So what I have are proposals for a permanent easement in both cases for $10, and that's just a customary token amount. That's the permanent easement actually gets filed in the Recorder of Deeds office. The bigger portion of it is the temporary construction easement, I'll call it, I guess, and that is compensation for the use of the land, any damages that might be incurred, that sort of thing during the installation. In both cases, the companies are offering $5,000 for that temporary construction easement. So you can consider these separately. I think you should consider them separately anyway, and I'll answer questions best of my ability if I can. So Dave Warner has looked these over. Most of these agreements you'll find are boilerplate type language. I did include in one of them, I met with the land agents for both companies. In one case, they were very similar. You know, I think all of these things are very similar, but I did include Lebanon Valley Rail Trail representative from their group in one of the meetings, so that they're at least aware of what's being proposed here. So, you know, when the time comes, they would be, of course, included in what would happen in terms of construction. So.
I have 4 questions on the Sunoco. On page 2, number 3, it talks about review and approval, and I wondered if we could preface that with grantor's written review and approval. And then in number 4, it says that they won't take care of all damages to the grantor's property. Having seen the water withdrawal out at the Jonestown boat launch, after the fact there was damage discovered, and the cost to repair that was not totally covered, and that left the borough with that bill to repair. So it would seem to me proper that they should make, if there's like subsidence or something from the drilling that it settles in or something, that they should pay to, that $5,000 may not cover it, that if it would exceed that amount, they should pay the full amount for the repairs. And then on page 3, number 8, it says no picnics and no dogs on the property, and the rail trail is used by people walking their dogs, and sometimes they carry their lunch and stop to have a bite to eat. That seems like maybe that should be stricken. And the reason I say that is because it says that there is no agreement outside of this agreement. So if we don't get it in this agreement, then we could be in violation of it, and would they be able to stop us from using our own trail? And then my next question is, how long will the trail be closed while this is going on, and is there a provision for an alternate route during that time?
Last one is the easiest one for me to answer
first.
I don't expect that it takes long at all. I mean, they can, you know, if during the construction, there wouldn't be allow anyone to go across. and a route around, it's not our land going around. We only have a 50-foot wide swath there of the rail trail. But if the construction takes more than a day, for example, we would ask that it be covered, whether plated. With one of the meetings we talked about that being plated so that people could still cross, in the evening hours or weekend hours if need be, that kind of thing. So.
But if they drill under, it would not be closed?
I don't think that would have an impact. Actually, Rachel is here from Sunoco. She was stopping in just out of curiosity, but I'm kind of glad she's here, maybe for some.
Sunoco's employees won't use it for recreational purposes. They're out there to only do their work and.
So you're not restricting the public?
No, ma'am. Sunoco's case 2 for under the trail.
Okay.
So we don't intend to close the trail at any time, but we did discuss plating it should that be necessary.
The plans would be shared with our planning department before. I don't know about permitting. Does it require permits? I mean, I'm thrilled that it is going to go under, which relieves a whole lot of questions that the public may have, but. At the same token, will we get to review that plan at all? I don't know. How does that work?
Not generally speaking, because it's not considered a permit. If we were going under a road, it would be a permit, not an easement. Since it's a parcel owned and fee by the county, it's an easement.
Even though a lot of it was constructed with PennDOT funding, it doesn't make a difference?
Not unless there was a grant involved.
Okay. On page 1, it says about reasonable damage, but it doesn't describe anywhere what reasonable damage is. I wondered if there should be a description of reasonable damage in there. And then on page 2, paragraph 4, it says about that they can access their parcel through other lands that we would own. Does that mean they could literally drive down the rail trail?
Kind of ingress and egress over and across said land and other lands of grantor?
Because if that's the case, would our trail withstand the heavy equipment that theoretically could be driven there?
Well, I can't speak to heavy equipment, but if they're going to be doing work on the line, they're going to be coming from the line.
They'll access it by the line.
Yeah, they'll be doing work along the line. I don't know why they would take the rail trail and just come in to address this 50-foot piece.
I guess that's why I don't know why they would have that in there, because why would they have that in there? It would imply they could come through our rail trail to drive on it. And we don't allow.
I'm going to say it could be other lands that are granted.
Right. And I'm
like,
sure that's what
if we have side-by-side parcels and we've executed easements on both of those, they could use one to get to the other potentially.
For motion, I'll make a motion to approve Sunoco's.
Okay. Second. All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the easement agreement for the Sunoco pipeline. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right. Sunoco easement is approved.
Okay.
The Williams, you have.
I'll move to approve the Williams as reviewed by council.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve the Williams easement agreement as approved by council. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
All right. Motion carries 2-1.
Ask you why you voted against that?
Well, I am concerned about the verbiage in there about access, number 1. But number 2, fundamentally, I believe they should be utilizing their existing right-of-way rather than taking up virgin land. Sunoco is using their existing right-of-way. I think that Williams should too.